I'm with Giganaway Namanonik, Red Dress Alert Pilot Project for Manitoba as the project lead. Thank you so much for joining us wherever you are, for taking the time to hear what we have to say within our report. Oh, I see some familiar faces on here. I'm just going through here to see some of the people that we have met with and also some of the people that want to hear and understand the importance of the red dress alert system. Um, Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm just going to do a PowerPoint presentation as we as you can see on your screen. Hopefully everybody can see that well and that you can hear me well. Let us know if you have any issues with that. I will do my best to ensure that we're loud enough for you. Um, it would be great if you could all maybe put your cameras on, if we could see you in some way, um, just to be able to see who we're sharing this space with right now. Um, we have, how many people do we have with us today? We have 100 people online right now. So I'm going to get started. So welcome everyone. If you have just joined us or you continue to join us slowly as we move forward. Yes, definitely see some familiar faces on here and happy to see you all and looking forward to sharing this information with you. So first I would like to kind of share that this information today is focused on our final report that we launched on November 25th, which is less than a month ago. I want to give some acknowledgement that we have worked and honoring and acknowledge the memory and the spirit and the sacredness of First Nation, Métis, Inuit women and girls to us LGBTQI relatives whose lives have been taken tragically from us and remain missing. So we want to acknowledge the impacted family members of MMIWG2S plus, families and survivors of gender-based violence. We are on the traditional treaty lands of Treaty Number One, the ancestral lands of the Anishinaabe, the within Manitoba, the Cree, the Innu, Anishinaabe, Dakota, Yate, and the Dene people and Inuit people of Manitoba, Red River Métis, and that we're all grateful to be visiting in this territory of Treaty One, which I think is pretty significant sometimes when we think of the work that happens in this region. So we acknowledge those ancestors and also the ones that are a part of this land now that we all are residing in. We also, I want to touch a little bit on the opportunity for any of you to get and look at the report that's on our Giganaway website. So if you don't already have a report, we had limited printing and we're going to go into a second printing. So I just wanted to share that as well, that you can view this report on our website. And it looks like people are still coming in, so it's good. I'm glad. Um, so I also want to remind people to take care of your heart. So this information can be upsetting to some because it relates to our loved ones, MMIWG2S plus individuals. So we also promote a phone number that you can get immediate emotional assistance from. It's a 1-800 number, which is 1-844-413-6649, which is a toll-free number if anyone needs to access that information. And that supports for yourself or anyone else that you know that could be impacted by the sharing that we're having today. So today we're going to go over some information specific to the red dress alert. We're going to talk a little bit about Giganaway Namanonik, the red dress alert system, the pilot, the goals, objectives, methodology, timelines, final report, key findings and of the community and essential partners from our engagement sessions with them. The Regis alert system and how it could be a responsive system to the safety and support, and that there is urgent need and action and advocacy. So I'm relying on my colleague to keep me in time here with us as we move forward, because some of you might know I like to talk a little bit and might try and pull me in for time wise, but we might not have enough time for questions. Thank you. So we're going to, if you have any questions, again, ask that you send them to us through email or through chat. So d.cook@mumaway.com is my email address. And then you can also ask your question on chat. Somebody will be monitoring that for us. So, Giganaway Namananik is a provincial consortium of affected family members, nonprofit agencies, service providers, political organizations, government bodies, and all dedicated to continuous policy development and implementation. So our focus includes informing legislation frameworks, advocating for justice, education and fostering awareness to the 231 calls to justice outlined in the Reclaiming Power in Place final report to the National Inquiry into Missing Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls. So this is all information that I have shared very, very many times during our engagement sessions. So we just wanted to make sure that everyone kind of understood what Gaganaway Nimananik was about and what the focus is in its work. So I wanted to introduce to you our team, which is led by Sandra Delarond, our knowledge keeper, Dana Momorso, who you heard from today, opening our session this afternoon. Myself, Denise Cook, Kim McPherson, who is joining us online, who is our report writer, and Jose Tamong, who is our data technician and web developer. So in this process, we also had a really great opportunity to have some advisory um, experts and lived experience people who could give us advice on the red dress alert as we moved along in our work. So we called them the red dress alert bundle carriers, and so they guided us in the work that we did. So that those people included Dolores Daniels, Amara LeClaire, Marilyn Cushane, Jerry Lee Pangman, George and Melinda Wood, Desiree Lambert, Renee Gamblin Kosterkoff, and Grace Shedler. So these people gave us a wealth of their knowledge and time and expertise in providing us feedback on the work and direction that we took as we moved forward. We met with them, a number of times, but it is significant to share with you that we also met with them while we just initially started our work in December of 2024, last year. So we have in our start of our work, we held a bundle carriers meeting, and we started with a pipe ceremony and water ceremony. And that, I think, had really set the tone for us in moving how we would move forward with the work that we were tasked to do. And I think that was also the best possible way for us to start. It gave us some real, I think, grounding and strength, and also connection to our ancestors in terms of how they would also support and guide us in this work. So I wanted to acknowledge that part of how we started. So I also wanted to say, if I go back to this, is that we wanted to ensure that we had that our Red Dress Alert team and our Red Dress Alert bundle carriers were from MMIW G2S plus LGBTQIA plus families and survivors of gender-based violence, and that they were from the community and experts of their lived experience to help ensure that our work and the perspective that we move forward with was always keeping in mind and keeping close to the family members that we had that were assembled to be a part of the bundle carriers team. Um, so again, that ceremony played an integral part of this, and it really, really did set the tone for us in how we moved forward and how we even moved forward with the with the partners that we had at the Gaganoe Namananic table already. So in any time we approached and moving forward, first I'll wait for that for the methodology, but I just wanted to acknowledge that part that our partners were essential in us moving forward swiftly because I can't emphasize enough the time that we had to do the work that we had, which was from from when we started our work in December to when we launched the final report and completed the final report was less than a year. So that is a significant movement, I believe. So the red dress alert system, what is the red dress alert? So it's an alerting, it would alert the public when an Indigenous woman, girl, or 2S plus person goes missing. It would request the assistance of the public in locating the missing person, missing Indigenous woman, girl, or 2S LGBTQI plus person quickly, and ensure they are safe in a timely way. So that is the essence of the red dress alert system. Um, and I'll talk a little bit about how that idea had evolved throughout our engagement sessions with the communities. So, just some background information. Leah Gazan and Han Dunoff, in May 2023, went to the House of Commons and declared the MMIWG a Canadian-wide emergency for the government to fund the red dress alert. So that was unanimously passed at that time. But we also acknowledge the immense effort and work that happened prior to that time and continues to occur in the daily of the Indigenous community and community as a whole in terms of MMIWG. So there was 16 pre-engagement sessions that were held in 23 and 24 with Sandra Delaron and Hilda Anderson Priez and also Leah Gazan. So we acknowledge and know that there has been significant work up to this point and continues to be at the forefront of many people in their work and their daily work that they do for the community. So it was announced in October 4th, 2024, that Giganoe Namananik, in partnership with the federal government and provincial governments, would oversee the development of the red dress alert system in Manitoba and also working with Indigenous partners. So the goals and the purpose of the red dress alert is to save lives in a timely way and decrease and prevent the violence against Indigenous women, girls, and 2S plus people. Increase safety in communities and respond to those incidents of violence, and create public awareness to act. It will also be the first system to alert the public that can be used as a national alerting model for other jurisdictions to follow, and it may act as a deterrent to perpetrators of this violence in the reach that it could have within Manitoba and other jurisdictions. So I just want to promote that we can all take a role in the red dress alert system, that we are all part of Manitoba, and we all share the space in terms of wanting safety for our loved ones and our communities. So I think that's important, and I'll probably say that maybe 100 more times while we're in this conversation today. So we want to stop the increased rates that occur daily. So we want to ensure that there's a coordinated response for that for those occurrences, and that it will be done in the quickest possible way to ensure that information is shared with the public. So for methodology, we had 43 community engagement sessions that were held throughout Manitoba from January to October. And when I say we had our our timelines are really tight, and I would say this a number of times to anybody that we were meeting with, that we could not catch. You know, when you're running really fast, and sometimes your momentum builds really a lot, and your body is actually ahead of your feet. That is how we have done our work with the Red Dress Alert system team. We have been moving at a pace that has been quite intense. So for us to get through those 43 engagement sessions in January to October, I think that's significant to share, because of the dedication and hard work of the team, and commitment to ensuring that we could capture the voice of the communities that we were engaging in. So one of the things that we did, we wanted to ensure that, you know, we were following the protocols of those communities. So we would approach the community and get a first point of contact. So we would work through them in accessing a space, and, you know, food, and also their knowledge keeper who they would like to utilize in the community. We had sent letters to community leadership asking if we could participate in their community for the engagement session. So we worked with those communities and those contact people. We had 14 engagement sessions with the essential partners, and then we had a survey that was about 1,000 anonymous online responses, and then we had 2-day session with data experts in July and August. I also have to say, like, we were also in a state of emergency during the summer of this last year, during the wildfire evacuations in many communities, and people were impacted, and also a lot of not necessarily, well, people, manpower, and also resources were focused on some of that essential work that needed to happen to communities that needed that safety, and places outside of their homes. So we acknowledge that during that time, we also had to try to still do our work in the best possible way and ensure that we could get the best possible information we could. Um, just looking quickly here. So our first session, I wanted to say, was held in Seguin, and that was significant because Seguin has the highest number of missing Indigenous women and girls and 2S loved ones, that per capita for all of Canada. So we acknowledge their community for welcoming us and opening our session and ceremony, and having a feast, and having a jingle dress dancer participate with us. So we did meet with various chief and councils to plan the engagement sessions. We did go to the Sunshine House because we wanted to hear the voice and the priorities of the 2S LGBTQIA plus people and persons with lived experiences who are unhoused, sexually exploited, with Nindawe Maganetic. I keep wanting to say it differently, but Valma's Health, Salvation Army. I also want to acknowledge Indigenous Relations Division with the City of Winnipeg that helped facilitate a session with newcomers. We wanted to hear from newcomers and see what their awareness was of MMIWG and how they could support the Red Dress Alert system. I also want to acknowledge the MKO MMIWG liaison unit who traveled with us, with our team, to provide emotional support during and after the sessions to ensure that we were being trauma informed and culturally safe. We wanted to ensure that we were doing no further harm in any kind of way to communities that we were visiting. As being guests, we wanted to be respectful of those spaces that we were allowed to come into, and we we visited various communities in Manitoba, northern, remote, southern, urban, and Thompson, Winnipeg. So in most communities that we visited, we had an opportunity to spend time and visit the shelters within those communities. And so they also had ideas and concerns for the Red Dress Alert and the safety and safety resources for gender-based violence. So we did hear from those folks as well. which I'm really grateful to because they did bring forward, specific things that I think I have to say and acknowledge that any place we went, we gained valuable information and gained really, really essential information for the report that we needed to bring together all of that voice and have our what we heard report, which is also available on our website. So we met with essential partners during the evacuation time. So we also met with people from health, education, hospitality, tourism, and other indigenous organization, transportation. We toured the Manitoba Integrated Coordination Center. We met with emergency management organization and transportation and infrastructure team for the Alert Ready system, which they had just kind of been working with to give information about the wildfire system so we could see like how quickly they were able to adapt and provide information as soon as possible for evacuees. So our survey, we met with First Nation Health Finism to give us some feedback and guidance on developing the survey that was available from April 4th until June 25th. So they provided us with some insights and expertise in their area of that work. So we did launch an interim summary report of our key themes that was released on June 3rd at the Human Rights Museum. So we wanted to highlight our progress. So this interim report finding were shared with essential partners when we met with them. Um, from the so we wanted our thoughts were that we would meet with communities first and hear what the current situation is in terms of when someone goes missing. So when we had that information and we moved forward onto the essential partners, policing services were the first that we met with. And so we were able to tell them and share with them some of the things that we had heard. From them, which included the myth of waiting 24 hours to do in a report, which is a common theme that we had heard from many communities when we had met with them, is that police themselves were telling people that they had to wait 24 hours before they could do a missing persons report, which is not true. And so, based on that conversation with the policing services, they were able to do a strategy to just to have a campaign, an online or a campaign that would say that to try to dispel that myth of waiting 24 hours and that is not an actual process or practice that they have in any way, shape, or form. So we did tell them that significant that they understood that that was information that they were promoting to the people. And so I think they heard that and they responded to that in that way to kind of address that. The other thing, we told them that they were community has had a difficult time trusting them and that they were not necessarily the first people that they would want to approach for reporting someone missing. Yes, people are still joining us here. So our final report had some key findings. So the community and the essential partners were all agreed. So the common things amongst those sessions were there's extreme agent urgency to establish a red dress alert system. That no one who attended our sessions did not agree with that or even said that that was something that they thought themselves. So they all said it was of an extreme urgency to establish the red dress alert system. So it's important. The importance was also highlighted that it should be an Indigenous-led organization to lead the red dress alert system. And I said before that the police in Manitoba are not trusted to act quickly to address when someone, specifically Indigenous woman, girl, or 2S plus person goes missing. So the importance of a comprehensive, holistic, and coordinated response when Indigenous woman, girl, or 2S LGBT person goes missing. So we wanted to, also say that where our community is at a profound risk of violence, and that it's crucial, and the critical measures that are necessary to reduce this risk include risks of violence and further loss of life. So the Red Dress Alert is a community driven or community voiced framework, and final report encompasses all of what we heard. So we wanted to build upon all of those voices to bring forward that final report. So it should be implemented without delay, and that all the organizations and participants agreed on these four key findings. So I wanted to emphasize that as well, because we've heard repeated accounts of, hardships that family members have gone through when trying to address their concern for their loved one who may be missing. So we wanted to bring that forward. And that's really, I think, shared in our What We Heard report. So if you have time, or if you can look at that report as well, it is complementing both. It complements and gives lots of more detailed information on what we heard in the communities. So the proposed red dress alert system, and we're calling it a system because we don't believe that it could be just an alert. We recognize that various communities might not even receive an alert, that it needs to ensure that it has the forest reach that it could have within Manitoba or other jurisdictions. The guiding principles that we have included and identified the essential foundation of the red dress alert system, so that it would be responsive to the needs and values of Indigenous people in Manitoba, that it would be an Indigenous-led organization, the governance structure, First Nation, Inuit and Métis women, and Inuit women and gender diverse people, including elders and knowledge keepers and impacted family members and survivors of gender-based violence. Collaborative and working in partnership with those organizations, Indigenous organizations, governments, and essential partners and communities, that it would be culturally safe, respectful of Indigenous worldviews and protocols, that it would be trauma informed and responsive to the needs and families families and communities in crisis, that it would be able to be issued in a timely and accurate way, that the alert would be based on efficient information sharing with police, government, media, and community partners, that it would be accountable and transparent, providing regular community reporting. So the response model is a model has 6 components in it that receive an act when someone is reported missing. So they would receive and record the information. The organization will be the Indigenous organization, the Regis Alert System, entrusted to receive and record missing person reports directly from family members and friends in the communities, as well as receive information already reported to police and other partners. So this would be something that would need to be 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So we a 24-hour call center for people to share their concern of their loved one. And also this would also not just be information that would be shared with the system, but this information would also be given to those family members in need of the most recent kind of information sharing progress of the situation with their loved one. So it'd be a toll-free line and secure online reporting features. So assessment, we knew that the assessment of all reporting would be analyzed and assessed for the accuracy of information for potential risks of individuals and the sensitivity of that information that's received. So definitely a secure system that would we don't want to put any people at potential or further risk in terms of sharing information. So we wanted to ensure that, key partners are engaged in within the search process. So there would be appropriate channels to communicate the alert system. um, we also know that searches can, depending on where that person was last seen or could go missing, could be in the urban area, ground searches for communities, those kinds of things could be supported within the community. So information sharing, receiving will be shared with all relevant police services and other agencies following agreed upon protocol when the criteria is met. So there would be a definite criteria when someone was to go missing and ensuring that information was put out as soon as possible. So maintaining accurate information, the initial missing persons record will be received immediately updated, and any new information would be received from partners in the public. So not leaving the family members without ensuring that they felt that they were informed, providing support to them during this process and helping them navigate that process within the system and other systems they might have to navigate. So definitely supporting the impacted families and friends of the community. So outreach people who would be to assist the impacted families and communities to access wraparound supports and search efforts in addition to organizations that will build collaborative partnership to help increase community capacity. So that would be, helping communities organize ground searches, training people to do ground searches. Like it is a system that is encompassing all the needs of what happens when someone does go missing. So issuing an alert, a public alert will be issued using all available means. We know that there's some areas within Manitoba that don't have access to cell services. So what mode or media or what would be the not just a mobile alert system, but all other ways of informing the community um, through radio, through social media, through um, newspaper, through news. So we have heard that some communities don't have access to internet, don't have access to even phone systems sometimes in the harsher times of year where things might be impacted, they would not readily be able to um, resolve connectivity issues. So we wanted to keep in mind that not everyone has the ability that the urban areas have in communicating to their communities. Some communities have gone door to door to provide information to their members on certain situations that might be occurring in the community. So we recognize that the most reach that it could have, we want to ensure that we have an avenue to adhere to or be able to give that information as fast as we can. So we also know that there's an importance for communicating in an Indigenous language. So all of those things we've heard from the community. So one of the other important parts of the framework include ongoing monitoring, evaluation, and reporting. So the maintenance of ongoing recording of missing person cases involving Indigenous women and girls and 2S plus people, review these cases and promote better understanding of two partners and risks and opportunities to improve the system. So the system would be in constant evaluation of ensuring and how we could do things better for the next steps and for the community, always reporting back to them as well. So governance would be upholding to the principles that we had discussed. So the proposed governance structure is composed of First Nation, Red River, Métis, and Inuit representatives and representatives from the 2S LGBTQI people community. So there would be two components that we have identified. The bundle carriers advisory circle, which would be impacted family members who have lived experience of and as of survivors of gender-based violence, knowledge keepers and elders. Then we would have also the Essential Partners Advisory Council. So the council will facilitate communication with collaboration among all governments, organizations, and agencies engaged with us as them being a part of the essential partners. So engage in all aspects of search process and to provide their expert technical advice and diverse aspects of implementing and maintaining the Redress Alert system. So I hope you can see that this is a system that needs to be more than what we even thought it would be. I think that's significant because in order for us to kind of address not kind of, but to address the needs of the community and the people that we heard from, this system needs to be all encompassing to support their needs, to ensure the things that we had heard during our community engagement sessions don't occur anymore. The gaps of those services, which should be essential services to communities, are not even basic services that a lot of communities are receiving with limited resources in terms of debt, RCMP detachment, even the community safety officers, to covering more than one community is very difficult to hear, especially from people who really want safety in their community and sometimes have to take on that work themselves as community people to ensure that their community is safe. And in the engagement sessions, a lot of different aspects of communities and seeing the strengths of those communities, but also seeing how difficult it is to continue doing the work when there's limited people and limited capacity of resources. So we wanted this framework to address all of those things for the communities. We are not recommending by any means this as a recommendation that they can take certain parts of this. This this is what needs to happen for our communities. This framework is what needs to go forward to ensure that when someone is missing from the first point of contact all the way through until that person has been brought home, that is the system would ensure that those steps would be alongside the family and not sending them to various different places to get different messages and different responses. So we see that the structure of the organization would have would be an executive team responsible for coordinating the governance structure, overseeing the operations and in organizing and representing the organization in public and partnership engagements. So technical experts, supervisors within the call center, liaisons with community and those systems that would be interacting with the families, the impacted families, the communities, communications to ensure that people know how to respond to an alert if they do see information that they see could be meaningful in providing to the Redress Alert system. Train staff with support that would operate on a 24-hour, 7 days a week system within a call center, maintaining information of the whole Redress Alert system, which would include a database, information management system, and information sharing. So inputting the information and providing the admin support, the infrastructure for all of that. So we have thought about all of those kinds of things within this system. So the framework, we want to ensure that it's prompt and effective and culturally safe for sure, and recording the missing person, professionally liaison with police and other relevant partners, and securing a system to gather and share sensitive information consistent with standards We know that one of the challenges that occur right now is that confidential information between systems cannot be shared. Some systems can't confirm or deny whether or not someone is actually safe, even though they have seen them. They cannot share that information with police services. So we want to address as much as we could in as much as we can, because I believe that we can within this alerting system. Um, so comprehensive outreach campaign to promote awareness, and then supporting searches, and then a centralized and regional offices to facilitate the differences and understanding and respecting the differences between the North and the South. So we have some timelines, and I have to say we have had very tight timelines throughout this process. We have moved quickly in the best possible way. So we are in the fourth phase of this, and we could move into the fourth phase, the preparation phase, which would be from January to April 2026, the implementation April to June 2026, and then activating and launching the Redress Alert System in June 2026. So, and then, of course, always ensuring the evaluation is ongoing and that there is a learning an opportunity for improvement of any system that is launched and is live, that it would always be something that could be looked at in terms of improving and changing to meet the needs of the communities that it will be helping. So, I think I kind of went over some of this already, but it will provide a one point of contact, increase public awareness to when someone goes missing, equitable and quick response, because we do know and we have heard that there is not an equitable response when it comes to Indigenous people within emergency and crisis situations within Manitoba. Access to supports, coordinated effort with other systems, utilizing the community, which is of course the experts of their place and space that they have, and would not be able to move forward without utilizing their expertise. So including the voices of family members and persons with lived experience, of course, is something that we would always want to maintain within the system to help address the safety. Safety for Manitobans is important. The Redress Alert System addresses those safety concerns and needs of the community. All of the people that participated in the engagement sessions are Manitobans, First Nations, Métis, Inuit, um, urban, rural, um, in the community. So they are all Manitobans because we all live in the same place and space. So that is what I want to emphasize in terms of how we can move forward and understanding that the safety of is the essence of the Redress Alert System to ensure that there is safety for our community. And a way to respond to that. We acknowledge also that there is various ways that happen now. Currently, there are various organizations and systems that are used to do that work. We don't want to take away from anyone's current work. We want to support and be able to have a system that's going to reach as far as it can. So that's what the Redress Alert System, we would hope that it would be for it will be that. We have no doubt, and anytime we've met with community, they have entrusted us with their voice to bring that forward to the ears of those that make those decisions about the Redress Alert System and also community. Because I always want to say too that everyone in Manitoba has a responsibility and an opportunity and can have the challenge of being able to address the safety concerns of our women in the community, our gender diverse and our girls. So when we talk about how we can all support the Redress Alert System, we can share information, we can have those conversations with each other about the Redress Alert System. We can talk to leadership, we can talk to people who make decisions about possibilities of future engagement. We know we want to share as much information as we can. We're open to any kind of possible presentation or sharing of information about the red dress alert system and any engagement session that we've had. We want to ensure that safety is everyone's responsibility, and building community and understanding that we are all neighbors, whether or not we live on a First Nation community, Métis community, urban area. We're all neighbors in terms of us being in the same place, and that we should all be thinking of each other to be able to support and help each other and ensure safety for all of our communities. So again, here's my information. If you would like to reach out and if you have any questions, did you have any questions in the chat? I'm not sure. There's my email and my phone number. If you have any questions, we can, or if you would like to set up some kind of information sharing conversation or presentation, we would be happy to do that. Here is the 188 or so 1-844-413-6649 phone number that anyone can access for supports, immediate supports. And of course, MKO and SEO have mobile crisis teams that, people can access if they need a bigger group of people to come and support them as well. So I want to say miigwech, I go say Mercy. Thank you for everyone for taking the time to be with us to hear the work that we have that our team has done within the last, I would say, 10 months. We have not we haven't come, we are just on a year now. But when we did start our engagement sessions, it wasn't until January. So we did not go to the community and we did not hear from the community until January. So we needed to hear those words and that voice of them so that we could build something that would address and reflect their needs. So I just want to say thank you so much. So to close off, we're going to ask Denema to share some closing remarks for us. And I'm just going to hand that over to her. And I'll stop sharing or just leave it.
Oh, yeah. There I am. Hi, everybody. Did you enjoy that? I just appreciate all the hearts that were given to Denise for her presentation. I want to express my gratitude to all of you, Kachimi Gwach, for taking the time to spend this hour and a little hour and a half with us. So I really appreciate it. I hope for those of you who maybe for the first time has heard about the Red Dress Alert Project, that gives you some understanding. And like what Denise said, if you need more clarity, please get in contact with her. Her email is available. So we ask, as always, that in a good way, we ask that grandmothers and grandfathers say miigwech for them for taking care of us this afternoon and being close to us and ensuring that we are in a good place. We share this space in a really good and respectful way, and express my gratitude to you for the time that you have taken to spend with us. So have a really wonderful rest of your day, and we will talk again soon regarding the Red Dress Alert. Kachimigwach, Ninkanagana.